Hello everyone, my name is Nico and welcome back to another video on how to play a character in fighting. Today, we are going over the mad scientist himself, Subspace. Same format as last video we did will be used as so, and with that out of the way, let's waste no time and get to the overall overview. Subspace has a total HP and shield of 175 to 0, making him somewhat more of a bulky fighter than most people think. Unfortunately, just like Medkit, this trade-off gives him no shield whatsoever, which is incredibly effective for someone's survivability. Subspace's whole game plan is to be a pestering annoyance to soften up enemies, whether it's with direct hits or mines that explode on contact. By using poison and vulnerability, he can quickly wear down the health of enemies due to how vulnerability makes enemies take extra damage and the poison damage slowly builds up. Subspace is pretty helpless at closer range as his own mines can hit him and most of his skills can damage him as a result of this. Overall, Subspace is a character that often helps against enemies by softening them up, but is always in trouble when getting rushed up on due to his options. Subspace's passive makes him a very tough character to kill due to how long he can survive thanks to his passive. Being able to heal off of assists and kills makes him able to shake off damage he could have received, and it's overall a passive that is insanely useful. Health recovery for a character with no shield is absolutely essential for the survival, so it's a no-brainer that Subspace's passive is really good. Subspace's primary can be fired at someone to do direct damage or fired at the ground to sit there for a good amount of time. Hitting someone with 1 crystal makes him take 10 damage, 10 ticks of poison damage, and applies 15% vulnerability. To avoid confusion, think vulnerability as a defense debuff to enemies. If an enemy gets near the crystals will shortly explode after, mostly missing if the enemy just keeps walking or uses a mobility skill. This is Subspace's main tool to weaken enemies, as constant directs can wear down anyone, especially bulky fighters. You can also place or stack the mines on the ground to control the area, but it's pretty situational and only works somewhat well on Conquer maps. Subspace's secondary is great for landing more shots, as it slows down anyone caught in the blast and makes them levitate for a bit, making them much easier targets to hit. Depending on how far you place it, it can activate from 1 second to about 3 seconds or so from afar, making it very reactable if you don't use it close to you. You can also somewhat use it right next to yourself if a melee fighter is on you to attempt some escape from them along with your E, which isn't too reliable, but other than that, it's a great annoyance tool against everyone. Subspace's Q ability is a great close range tool to attack fast and effectively. It does 20 damage, applies 25% vulnerability, and applies a 10 tick poison damage. It's a great tool to finish off a weakened opponent or to simply add upon more damage with its vulnerability. Be very warned, however, that using this too close to yourself will apply the same effects to yourself, so be wary of self-damage when using this ability. Subspace's E ability is a great mobility tool, giving you 50% haste for 4 seconds and making you invisible while flashing after images. Hitting someone with the mist does 15 damage and applies poison to them. I highly recommend only using this ability as a getaway tool, a tool to reposition yourself, or as a quick way to get back into the front lines, as the damage factors of this ability aren't too special or anything. However, it is great when you need to run away as always. Subspace's finisher is by far one of the best finishers in the game. Subspace winds up to spawn a crystal that sucks in nearby enemies, doing constant damage that ends in an explosion that applies 75% vulnerability and poison, which can make enemies really easy to kill right after it. Be highly warned that the range on the finisher is very small, so you can only catch off-guard enemies or use it as a way to trap unsuspecting enemies in tight spaces. It's especially good on Conquer due to how much space the enemies have to not get caught in the finisher. If you die, the crystal will go away and you lose the benefit the explosion gives, which is incredibly damaging to your team, so make sure to have a good amount of health before using this finisher at all. As for Subspace's matchups, Subspace can really rush down classes that are long ranged, specifically being able to run up on Hyper Laser and sometimes Slingshot. Subspace is also a big deal for Katana, as the sheer slowness of Katana makes trying to catch up to Subspace a hassle even with the grappling hook. Unfortunately, every other class is either pretty neutral or destroys Subspace. Rocket's Sword and Boombox are somewhat of an equal matchup against Subspace, since it really depends if the Sword or Boombox is close enough and if the Rocket can aim well. Other matchups like Biograph are a complete hell to win, as Biograph could teleport constantly and keep on wailing on Subspace until he falls. Medkit is also a hard matchup, more so the fact his constant healing on teammates makes Subspace's whole damage output almost non-existent due to how fast he can heal teammates. This does enforce how Subspace needs a good team to take advantage of his vulnerability, as in 1v1 scenarios like these, Subspace is at a lost cause for the most part. Now that we've gone over all of that, let's take a look at some gameplay of Subspace. Just to be clear, I am not the best Subspace player at all, but I think I am good enough to place decently well as him, so enjoy. Hey, before ending this video, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has watched this video or maybe, clicked on it or whatever you're seeing this, who knows. I thank you all for whatever, and I'm just proud to be making these videos. These videos take a while, and you know what, I just kind of make them out of maybe either boredom or just straight up passion, and I can't really thank you guys enough, because honestly, it's been a ride making some of these videos. It's been pretty eye-opening, made me learn a lot more about the classes I play and stuff like that. I just want to say thank you all for being, definitely interesting people. I also want to say shoutouts to the fighting Discord server for being a little helpful with some of the things, and also just sometimes being a good community in general. Yeah, that's all I really want to say. If you enjoyed, thanks for watching, I guess. You don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. If you want to, that'd mean a lot, honestly. But if you don't want to, that's totally fine. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace, and hope you guys enjoyed the new fighting update.